You're listening to EPN, the ePodcast Network.
This is the Green Business Podcast Show here on EPN, the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. And now your host, Eric Dye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Green Business Podcast Show here on EPN. This is Eric Dye. The Green Business Podcast is your EPN channel for better informing you how to green your business, hear how others have made their business green, startups in the greening industry, and bringing awareness to a green economy and the advantages it brings to your community as a whole. Today we are speaking with Frank E. Selle, CEO of BioHiTech America, a green technology company that provides an innovative, data-driven solution for food waste removal. Frank, certainly a privilege to have you with us today on the Green Business Podcast Show on EPN.
Thank you, Eric. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. So you have been part of the waste business for more than 25 years. What gave you the idea for BioHiTech America?
Yeah, I've got a long history in the traditional waste services industry, which came to an end substantially sometime the end of 2006. At which time I had sold the business that I had previously founded, and I realized and identified that in the early to mid 2000s. The trend toward zero waste and sustainability by our customers was really starting to gain momentum. And the waste industry traditionally has been essentially a technology adverse and transparency adverse industry. So I recognized the need for a disruptive type of business that leveraged emerging technology to provide customers with a better solution for some of the issues that they were having in reaching their own zero waste and sustainability goals. And I also saw the need for a solution that would also help them achieve regulatory compliance in areas where the government or government entities were starting to enforce and enact or discuss regulations regarding the diversion of various types of waste from landfills and traditional waste disposal options available at that time. So I left the traditional industry and I identified an opportunity to leverage emerging technology targeting food waste because it was the most obvious target. When a company was talking about going from 100% waste to zero waste, food representing 30 to 35% of the total waste that goes to landfills today was just an obvious target. What I realized was that relying on traditional means of collection and disposal for food, albeit separate from mixed municipal waste, was not going to provide a cost-effective and environmentally friendly solution. So I entered into the business of on-site organic waste decomposition with the BioHiTech EcoSafe Digester product. I identified the fact that there was a way to provide the consumer with a cost-effective, clean technology solution that would essentially disrupt the way that waste was being handled on a day-to-day basis.
And I want to personally thank you for seeing that and making something happen in that regard. How are businesses impacted by the food waste challenge here in the United States?
Eric, numerous answers to that question. So they're impacted in many ways. First and foremost, I'll reference new regulatory movements. So laws are being put into effect all over the United States that now mandate certain food waste generators to have a diversion plan in place. So whereas in the early 2000s it was somewhat optional, we're now seeing it in 2014 and 15, and I think we'll continue to see this trend being mandated and regulated, which means businesses are struggling to find a cost-effective solution to diverting waste and being compliant with new laws and regulations being passed. So there's a somewhat of a legal aspect to this. The other issue is whether it's mandated or it's discretionary. The cost associated with disposing of food waste is pretty substantial. So how do businesses that generate food waste and want to either achieve regulatory compliance or their own self-imposed sustainability goals, how do they do this in a cost-effective fashion without a material impact to their P&Ls? So, cost is certainly a factor. Regulatory compliance is a challenge. The biggest challenge associated with both of these is the lack of options really available today on the market for generators of food waste to find both a cost-effective and more environmentally friendly means of disposing on it. So there are various issues, various challenges. One of the challenges we like to focus on at BioHiTech most, which is not normally discussed, is the focus on food waste. The focus has been historically on food waste diversion, meaning, hey, how do we dispose of food waste in a more environmentally friendly fashion and cost effectively? Well, the fact of the matter is the right answer to that problem is don't generate the food waste at all. So we at BioHiTech look at the challenge slightly differently than what we believe both our customers and our competitors do, which is we believe the real challenge is accumulating the data and information needed to prevent the generation of that food waste to start. There lies the bigger issue. From there, what's left will certainly be a challenge, as I've mentioned previously. But how do we provide our customers with the right information that ultimately really solves the problem, which is, hey, don't generate that waste at all. So, various problems, various challenges. Some are obvious and some are not.
What alternative to traditional waste removal in landfills are available for a company to dispose of food waste?
That's a great question, Eric, and it's a problem. Traditionally, composting has been the go-to means of disposing of organic waste when desired. Now, the fact of the matter is, as regulations continue to be passed and corporate initiatives continue to be implemented, the volume of food waste that will be generated is obviously going to grow. The number of compost facilities is not growing. In fact, it's shrinking. And the cost and the environmental impact of these traditional facilities are challenges as well. So there is certainly traditional composting still available, albeit it's expensive and, in our opinion, not the cleanest option available. Anaerobic digestion, which is essentially the digestion of food waste in the absence of oxygen, where food waste is used as a feedstock to create gas that is ultimately used to generate electricity, is a great solution. It's widely deployed across Europe and the rest of the world. However, the problem in the U.S. is there are very few anaerobic digesters in the U.S. today. They certainly do not have great proximity to the metropolitan areas where the bulk of food waste is being generated. So while it's a great technology and a fantastic option, it has its challenges with siting facilities with proximity to the waste, and because of that, logistical challenges and costs associated with collecting this waste from the generators and ultimately getting it to the point of its digestion, which could be as much as 100 or 200 miles away from the source of the waste. So certainly a viable technology. And we believe we'll continue to see the development and deployment of that technology across the United States. There are on-site digesters, such as our EcoSafe digester, where the waste can be treated at the point of generation, which we believe is always the best option, as it requires the least amount of logistical efforts to dispose of it. Those types of technology provide typically a cost-effective means to the customer to meet their regulatory goals and their self-imposed sustainability goals. And there are other emerging technologies that we're beginning to see on the market, and I believe we'll continue to see on the market, where food waste may be able to be converted into fertilizer or other products. So I think the key here is it's certainly technology that will be the key to success in the overall diversion of food waste. I do not believe that relying on traditional means of disposal is where the future lies for this industry.
Great information here today. We are visiting with Frank E. Selle, CEO of BioHiTech America, a green technology company that provides an innovative, data-driven solution for food waste removal here on the Green Business Podcast Show, a part of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Frank, how does the BioHiTech solution differ from the other solutions, and who can benefit?
Anyone can benefit that generates food waste in excess of approximately 200 pounds a day. So our customers are typically made up of supermarkets, retail restaurants, hospitality facilities, universities, prisons, hospitals, any large generator of food waste where either food is being sold to or supplied to or being prepared for large quantities of people. The benefits of our technology are multiple. First and foremost, as I mentioned earlier, we believe that providing data, real data, accurate data in real time to our customers is really the key to success. So the fact that we measure each increment of food waste that is introduced into our digesters in real time, and we transmit that data every 10 seconds to our cloud software, we provide the only source of accurate real-time data to our customers in order for them to analyze how much waste is really being generated, where does it come from, and possibly why is it being generated, again, ultimately with the goal of educating our consumers so that they actually can reduce the amount of food waste that they're generating as opposed to focusing on a better way of disposing it. So real-time data, transparency, and analytics are clearly one of the key advantages to our product. Secondly, as I mentioned earlier, is our product is on-site. So what that means is we treat the waste at the point of generation. We require the least amount of logistical effort to handle the waste and transport it from the point of its generation to the point of its ultimate disposal. And what that means is we not only save money, but we also save environmental footprint. So we're a cleaner alternative, as every time that waste needs to be transported via inefficient vehicles, it has a negative environmental impact. So, on-site dealing with the problem is always going to be the most effective, both for the pocketbook and for the environment. Real-time data is key to helping our customers enhance their businesses and become more productive and efficient. And the other nice thing about our technology is it doesn't have to be an end-all, in the sense that I previously mentioned other emerging technologies such as anaerobic digestion. What our units can be used for is a pre-processing unit to create feedstock for these anaerobic digesters. However, doing it in a much more cost-effective fashion and requiring much less transportation and logistics to ultimately get that feedstock from point A to the anaerobic digester. So if we can transport only 10% of the food waste that is put into our digester to that anaerobic digester, because that's the only portion that actually has energy value, then we can essentially reduce the logistical cost and carbon footprint substantially and still support some of these other emerging technologies as they desire to create either clean energy, clean power, fertilizer, and whatnot. So we believe that our product has enormous advantages over any other option available today. And because of that, and because of the technology we deploy, The one option and advantage that our customers love to hear is that we can do all of this at a cost that is typically considerably less than what our customers' current incurred cost is, which means we can provide a clean energy green solution at a lower cost than typical traditional services provided, which is not normally seen in clean tech and green technology investments.
In terms of growth, what do you see as the next steps for BioHiTech America?
Another great question. So certainly one of the key areas for our growth is global expansion. So we are the global distributor of this product, not just a U.S. distributor. We believe that the international marketplace can be equally as large, if not possibly even larger than the U.S. marketplace. So global expansion and deployment of our product and our analytics is definitely a key area for growth. It's something we focus on every day. We currently have strategic partnerships with groups in Europe, as well as Mexico, Latin America, and the Middle East. We've had recently a fair amount of success in deployment of our technology into those international markets, as in many cases, the international community does not have as many options as what we do in the United States for disposal of waste, mainly being driven by population density. So these international marketplaces are seeming like they may be even quicker to adapt our type of technology than the U.S. So certainly global growth is key. The continued development of our analytical tools. So this not only capturing the information, but deciphering the information, analyzing the information, and presenting that information to our customers in a really usable, easy fashion in order for them to make management decisions that can affect things other than waste disposal, such as procurement or whatnot. That's key for us. So, analyzing this data and the continual provision of this data to our customers is something that we continue to spend time and money on from an R&D standpoint. The interfaces with some of our customers' other systems, for instance, point-of-service systems and procurement systems, is something that we've been working on as well. So taking the data that we collect, what we call in the back of the house, and marrying that data together with the front of the house can provide a really powerful management tool to our customers to identify areas for improvement within their processes and efficiencies. And because we're able to present that type of data, the sale chain for us changes dramatically. So we are selling upstream to CMOs, CEOs, and CFOs. So the continual sale and development of this type of data and analytical tools is key to our growth. And I would say lastly, we have many requests now from customers that are using our data and our cloud technology to implement that same technology on other devices. So, taking our quote-unquote machine-to-machine communication product and deploying that tool on other pieces of waste equipment to further disrupt the way that things, that customers do business on a day-to-day basis regarding possibly other recyclable materials or mixed municipal waste. Again, our business vision is all about providing transparency. It's all about disrupting an industry that has been traditionally technology adverse by providing our customers with transparency to enable them to be more efficient all around. So, from an environmental standpoint and from a P&L standpoint, the key to profitability and efficiency is real information that can be used quickly to make changes within a chain, whether it's a grocery chain or a restaurant chain or whatnot. So again, highly leveraging analytical tools and machine-to-machine communication to continue to deploy our solutions over various verticals and various types of pieces of equipment. So we've got a lot of growth in store over the next couple of years. A lot of time and money being spent on R&D on our technology and our cloud-based tools. So we're pretty excited about the upcoming years.
And with reason, a lot of exciting things going on and results driven for sure. In conclusion, any closing thoughts or a final takeaway here per our conversation?
Just once again, the focus here in our belief on when we talk about green business or sustainability or zero waste initiatives and various clients call it something different. The key to understanding and really making a difference is not focusing on the how do we dispose of waste, not relying on, hey, this is the way it's been done for 50 years, so that's our only option. Embracing emerging technology and disrupting an industry that hasn't changed in 50 years is really the key. And the focus needs to be on, hey, how do we do a better job in not creating this waste altogether? And the secondary focus then should be, how do we do a better job disposing of what's left? But, the key thing here is, look, if we're looking for a sustainable world, data, information, that's the key to driving a clean environment, a green environment. And, the misnomer that costs more money is not necessarily true when all of the technologies are evaluated correctly and used potentially in conjunction with each other. There is a green world, and it doesn't necessarily have to cost more money.
Well, it certainly has been good to have had you today, Frank. Tell us, where can folks get more information online about BioHiTech America, and where can they be in potential contact as well?
Sure. The best avenue for exploring our technology and our products or reaching one of our people here is on our website. That's BioHiTech.com. And it's a robust site. We've got product demos and testimonials and all of the data and information that anybody could possibly want. So everything's located right there. Feel free to visit our website, make a call, reach out to us. We're happy to answer any questions.
It's BioHiTech.com. Frank, thanks so much for your time today here on the show.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too as well. We've been speaking with Frank E. Selly, CEO of BioHiTech America, a green technology company that provides an innovative, data-driven solution for food waste removal. And once again, the website of reference is BioHiTech.com. And this has been Eric Dye, and you've been listening to the Green Business Podcast Show, a part of EPN, the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Pick up our iPhone or Android mobile app for your mobile listening convenience. And once again, we do thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to the Green Business Podcast Show here on EPN, the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. For more information or to subscribe to this podcast, visit epodcastnetwork.com.
This is the ePodcast Network.